Hello and welcome back to Biz Inbox. I'm Em Burnham and this is your safe space for all of those career questions and workplace situations that have you completely stumped.
And I'm Sarah Davidson, bringing my lawyer-turned-entrepreneur perspective to help you navigate whatever has landed in your work life this week. We adore your questions and DMs.
We love your questions, and same rules as always. You can be completely anonymous if you choose to do so. We're not going to air your dirty laundry. I mean, we will. We just won't say your
Just
name.
anonymously.
Just do it anonymously.
So from office politics to career crossroads to managers who clearly need a reality check, no names, no judgment, just real solutions. And Em, today we're tackling some very awkward workplace
We've got a really good episode today.
And we love awkwardness.
Yes.
We thrive in this environment. We've got a question about a colleague who's sharing way too much personal information and making everyone uncomfortable. The colleague may be me.
Sarah,
I'm just saying.
You could have put your name on this. It's a safe space.
In reverse. It's like it's been submitted against me. Plus, what do you do when your messy ex applies for a job at your workplace?
I have a personal story that I can talk to about this.
This is just us, this whole episode. And later, we're dealing with the fallout from when a private conversation becomes very public, everyone's worst nightmare. But first, you got a question about workplace boundaries that's going to hit a real nerve.
So Leanne messaged this into us and she says, I work in a small team and one of my colleagues constantly overshares about her period and sex life during meetings and lunch breaks. 24/7. She sounds very fun. It makes everyone uncomfortable, but she doesn't seem to pick up on the social cues. How do I address this without being the office prude? I don't want to shame her, but it's affecting team dynamics.
This is such a hard one because I feel like in some team environments, it's highly encouraged.
Yeah.
And by some team dynamics, I mean me, where the team is me and myself talking about, like, I am sharing my discharge consistency with people, you know, like that's the way that I am bonding with people. That's you and I.
I feel quite alarmed with this question because I genuinely think this is one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
It's about me.
But that is really difficult because the threshold in different workplaces is really different.
Yeah. And I think it's like, what I found really hard was like coming from Mamamia, because I did work at a different place in between my roles here at Mamamia, and it was a very different work situation, as in like the culture was a bit different. Everyone was still really, really nice and welcoming, but the big thing was I was working with a lot of men, like older men.
So you're not having vagina chats.
No. And like Mamamia, like someone asks you, how's your day? I'm like, oh, I've got my period.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, sucks. And I'm like, yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah, and they're like, here's a heat pack and here's all my strategies.
And then I was going into this new environment, but I think it's one of those situations where you just literally read the room.
Yeah.
You know exactly when you can share and when you can't, and who you can share to and who you can't share to. And it just seems like that this colleague isn't across that at all.
Yeah. And that's really difficult because I'm just so pro when you have a really good rapport with your colleagues that you can share your personal stuff as well. But I do think it sounds like for Leanne, the oversharer is the odd one out. Like it sounds like it is affecting everyone around her. And I think in that situation, perhaps it is a gentle intervention of, if she's not picking up that everyone's visibly uncomfortable, someone probably does need to just pull her aside and say, in some teams, or maybe previous teams, maybe she did come from a workplace like Mamamia where it was openly encouraged, but I think someone possibly does need to sit her down and just say, maybe our team isn't quite as ready for that level of personal information, because it isn't appropriate in every workplace.
It's not. Or just even like, I think something as simple as when she does tell those stories or talks about it, like no one react, like just stay silent and let her figure it out on her own, because there's no way that you would just keep going. Surely not.
Yeah, if everyone wasn't like,
although, like, oh my God, I'm also on my period.
Yeah, although it also says she doesn't seem to pick up on the social cues.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right then.
And then I think you kind of, as a team, have to nominate who she'll take it from the best. Like find out who.
I feel like Leanne knows exactly who it will be, and it's going to be Leanne.
It's going to be Leanne. I think it's Leanne saying, please tell me I don't have to be the intervener, but it is going to be me.
Everyone's telling me to talk to this girl. How do I do it?
And I think that probably is the best solution. Oh, that's so hard, because you also don't want to make someone who feels really comfortable around you then feel like they can't share anything. But it is hard when, you know, everyone's tolerance for bodily fluids is different.
Just I even like saying like break it down even more, like come at it from a place of concern, saying, hey, like, is there someone else you can talk to about this stuff, like outside of work hours? Like, I just want to make sure you feel like
You've got an
safe
outlet.
and and you have an outlet. Like, just come at it from a place of concern.
Yeah, it is really tough though, because
Yeah.
you do want to be able to. You do want to be able to say. I had this conversation with a girlfriend the other day, and she had like quite a serious issue of bleeding, and she did feel like she could say that was why she was late, and because of that, her lateness wasn't interpreted as a lack of care or a lack of professionalism. But I feel like if you can't share those things, it might restrain you. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be so worried that if people didn't know the real reason. Oh, Leanne, I don't envy you. That is a really difficult situation.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Little intervention.
Yeah, little
Come
chat.
from a place of care.
Little
You'll be
chat.
fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question is anonymous, and it rings very true to home. That's just all I have to say. So,
can you like get out of our inbox and leave some room
sorry.
for other people?
I just really need your advice, Sarah.
Just call me out of
It's
hours.
a lot. Yeah, call you out of hours.
Just call me out of hours. This
we
is
have
inappropriate.
No boundaries here. We thrive off burnout
I'm
culture. Okay, so we got this. This isn't. I promise this isn't me, but I can relate. So,
it's your wheelhouse.
it's my
let's just say.
wheelhouse. My ex-boyfriend just applied for a job at my company, same department, and we've been working closely together. Our breakup was messy, and I'm worried it could seriously impact my performance and workplace relationships. Do I need to tell my manager about our history? I don't want to seem unprofessional, but I'm genuinely concerned about how this could affect my career.
What did you do?
Okay, so I have a friend actually who was in this position where...
Whose name was Em Burnham?
His name was Em Burnham. No, I had a friend who came to a girls' dinner one night, and she was absolutely spiraling. She's like, my ex has applied to work for my company. I am freaking out. She was freaking out for a really long time. And then eventually he didn't get the job, so it was fine. But I was in a similar position where I had an ex reaching out saying, hey, so this position has opened up at Mamamia. It's like, as you know, it's in my wheelhouse. Like, it seems like a really great career opportunity.
I like that he consulted you.
He did consult me. I have a feeling, knowing the type of person he was, he didn't really matter.
Yeah, but at least he had a heads up.
I had a heads up. He was like, this is like my career path, just wanting to know, does this role work really closely with you, and would it be an issue if I applied for the job? And I messaged him back and I was like, hey, so good to hear from you.
I love you.
This is such a cool role. Oh my God, yes, you should 100% apply. I think like this will be perfect for you. And then I went and told HR, don't hire this man. I couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a bitch, but
Whoa,
I got here first. I have 5 years on that man.
You know what? You got to protect your environment. You've worked so hard to be here.
And this is my
Protect your
career.
peace.
This is my safe space. Like, this is my wheelhouse. I can't have history. I even like, I'm so specific. If I have like close friends who want to apply for certain roles here, I am
You sabotage them?
I don't sabotage them, but I am quite honest with my friends and being like,
I would rather
hey,
you didn't.
like, I'd rather you didn't. And if I know it's a close friend who would actually be like well suited for this role and we'd get on professionally, then I like be like, yes, of course, you'd be amazing at this role. But I have like grown into this space, and I am such like an emotional person, and some breakups do really affect you, like affect your whole life.
Oh,
and
most of them.
I just couldn't imagine this guy who was my ex, who we ended on really, really bad terms.
Yeah.
And just because it was like a few years before he messaged me didn't make those feelings suddenly go away.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew that I could not stay in this role with him also being here. And I was like, and I was really, really honest. I was like,
you don't owe him.
yeah, I would be like, I wouldn't be able to do this job.
Yeah.
And he wasn't actually qualified for the role anyway.
Yeah, so you didn't feel bad. You were like,
I didn't feel bad.
You weren't the right candidate.
I blame myself, but he actually wasn't qualified for the role at all. But it is one of those things where, and I always like, my number one piece of advice for people when they're dating is don't date within your industry.
Yeah,
It
which
happens.
is great advice.
The amount of exes I run into at like events and things like that, and I haven't even dated that many of them. They're just there all the time, and now they're going to be in my life for like the rest of my career.
And it's so hard because that's what makes part of the relationship easier is they do understand your industry, and it means you have common ground, which is why it happens so often. But it does make the ex thing really difficult.
Yeah. So I would just say,
like, it sounds like this person's ex hasn't got the job yet.
No.
That they've just applied.
and it also, this ex-boyfriend looks like they didn't give you a heads up about applying for the company. Like, or maybe they did, or you found out some other way. But I think
you should tell your
don't
manager.
do what I did, where like completely like wasted his time and made him apply, and then said and like don't sabotage that way, because I was very, very young, and that was not, and I was acting
I was like
on
1
rage.
week younger than I am right now.
It was yesterday. I was completely acting on emotion and acting on rage, and I was very, very an angry, bitter person. But I would just honestly, if they reach out to you, just be honest. Be like, I don't know if this is going to work out.
Yeah.
Or just have an honest conversation with your manager or your HR department and be like, this is the situation. I genuinely don't think I'll be able to perform to the level I have been performing if this person is also working here.
Yeah, I think that's excellent advice. I don't think if you don't want to tell your manager, I don't think you have to, but it sounds like you would like them to have context. And I don't think it does seem unprofessional.
No.
I mean, the way that you say it is important, as long as you don't run in there crying. But I think you can give context and just say, look, it will really affect my ability to do my role. And
I don't think
you
you're
were there
sabotaging their
first.
career. I think
there's plenty
that's
of other
the risk with
places.
dating. Like you will date people that might like be in your world, and you have to like avoid that certain part of your world. But when you reverse the roles, and I was thinking about this ex-partner I had, there's no way, no matter how good the job was, would I ever apply for a company that he was working at. There's no way I would. So the fact that he did it, knowing that we ended so badly, was just just such a weird thing to do.
He wants you back.
Clearly, and now we're married, and now we're getting married, and we're living happily ever after.
But I also don't think you'll seem unprofessional if you explain it the way you've mentioned.
Yeah.
If you go in and say, I hate him, I just never want him to get ahead. Like, I think, yes, you could seem unprofessional depending on how you conduct the conversation. But I think if you explain it in terms of a performance impact, it will sound very reasonable.
Yeah, I'm here now, and then I'm going to drop down here.
Yeah. Your bottom line's going to suffer, is all I'm saying.
It's going to suffer. Okay, our next question came from Emma, and she DM'd us. She said, I was having a private phone call with my husband in what I thought was an empty office, venting about work stress and some frustrating colleagues. Turns out someone was there and definitely heard everything. Now I'm paranoid about how this might affect my relationships at work and whether it could impact my job security. How do I handle this awkward situation?
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
This is a real life example of when someone sends their friend a post on Instagram that they want to like have a good yap about, but they accidentally send it to the person. That's exactly what this is for the real life version. And it's like everyone's worst nightmare. I'm mortified thinking of what you felt when you, like the hairs on your neck when you realized someone was listening. That's awful.
So embarrassing. I've sent a guy once a screenshot of the conversation I was having with him.
With commentary or just a screenshot?
I just sent the screenshot before I realized what happened. And he was just like, who was that meant to go to?
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Obviously
you were
know
sending it.
it's
You were
meant for the
distributing
girls.
it. Yeah. Oh, that's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
I've been on the other side of that where I've heard a conversation that I probably shouldn't have heard because I was just like at my desk and I was in not in Mamamia, I was in a different job, and my desk was like in this way where it was kind of blocked off and they had like these big partitions, and I heard a colleague bitch to another colleague about a project that all of us were working on, and they were just going in and in. Thank God my name wasn't mentioned because then that would have been way more awkward. But they were just going
you
in
just
and in
put
and
your
in.
head up like, hello.
Yeah, but I was so new that like
Yeah.
I had no idea about any office drama. So this was like my in. I was getting really excited. And
This
then
is currency.
and then I left and I was just like, bye guys, have a good night. And their faces just dropped.
It's actually mortifying.
It's mortifying. I feel like if you weren't talking about that specific colleague, It could be fine. Like a lot of people who overhear these conversations love it, but they just love it for themselves. And they're just like, that was so funny that I overheard that. And they might like tell their husband or like
they're
their
probably
friends.
not going to go dob on you to the
a lot of,
manager.
A lot of people are way more chill than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be super, super stressed out about that unless you were talking about them, which I don't think you were. But if you are stressed, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think?
It sounds like you know who it was.
Yeah.
And I think depending on your relationship with them, it's really hard if you're not on good terms because then there's all the paranoia about how they're going to use it and who they're going to tell. But I think often they might even share the grievances that you have.
Yeah.
And if they agree with you, like maybe they won't pass it on. But I think again, and this is like coming from someone who really avoids upfront conversations, my advice is so often just get ahead of it, have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
But I do think just chat to them and say, I really shouldn't have had that conversation with my husband in public. I was just venting. I was frustrated. I should have known better than to do it in the workplace. But we all vent, to our personal relationships. It wasn't to another colleague.
That's what I mean. It's actually better that you were venting to your husband and not to like another colleague.
Yeah, so I think just say like, he doesn't know any of you. I was just blowing off steam like we all do. I'd really appreciate your discretion. I think most people would take that pretty well.
Yeah.
Unless it was about them.
I don't think it was. I think they would have said. I think Emma would have said that it was about that person, which would have been so tragic. And I think also
the way that the question was worded is how do I handle this awkward situation? The worst thing you could do for awkwardness is let it fester.
Yeah.
Like is to not handle it and just pretend like it never happened, because then you'll constantly wonder, what are they thinking? Who have they told? What are they going to do about it? But if you sit down with them, if they go, I totally agree, you're going to feel relief and you're going to go, I'm fine. You can move on with your life.
Buy them a coffee. Just be like, hey, that was
bribery,
really weird.
babe. Bribery.
Yeah.
Get them a biscuit. Get them a croissant or something nice.